Hello and welcome to the latest episode of Window into ARPS. My name is Michael Morris. I'm the Superintendent of Schools of the Amherst-Pelham and Amherst-Pelham Regional School District. I'm thrilled today to welcome Sasha Palmer, our new Food Service Director, to the show so that she's able to share more about food service in our district, where we currently are, and some future directions that we're taking in the meals we serve our students. So welcome.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you. You were selected after a very long, I'm sure you feel the same way, long process to try to find somebody who is going to bring our food service program, which is we brought in-house last year, to the next level. So we're thrilled that you're here. You got started in June and July, and we're thrilled that you're part of the district. So thank you for being here, both on the show, and thank you for being in the district.
It's good to be here.
Thank you. So could you share a little bit more about your background in food service?
I would say I started in food service at a very young age. I was from a large family, and one of my tasks in that large family was to prepare meals for my family, my other 11 siblings. So I think that was enough practice to get me into loving food service. I went to high school and I studied home economics and went on to college to pursue a teaching degree in teaching home economics, and I did that for a number of years. My husband and I, we both graduated from college in the food service industry, and we decided to start our own food service management company and our own food service catering company. So I started that and ran that for a number of years. I migrated with him. I keep following my husband. So we migrated to the US and I got into school food and nutrition. I started at a school in Connecticut, and then we moved to Maryland, and I worked in the Department of Health in Maryland for a number of years. When he decided to move again to Massachusetts, I knew that school food is exactly where I want to be. And I started out in the hospital. I worked at Brigham and Women's Hospital for a few months, but then this opportunity came and I thought it was the right fit.
Great, well thank you. It's a significant job. Something that a number I always like to throw out is last year we served 215,000 meals to our students. So it's a big job. So what interested in you in coming to the district and working for a school district?
One, it's food service, which I love, and I think I have a passion for school food service. So when I saw the opportunity, I jumped at it. But there was one thing in the posting that excited me, and it was the district's dedication to diversity. I am from a diverse background. I grew up in Jamaica, coming to Massachusetts, and that's something I want to experience, I want to be a part of a district that values diversity.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and we've seen it in our students. We're one of 3 or 4 districts across the state who mirror the state averages on demographics, race, ethnicity, special education, low income status. And well, that's a sad statement perhaps about housing segregation. For us, it's really a great opportunity to really mimic the diversity of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts within our relatively small, confined setting of 7 schools and 2,700 students. How might you see the diversity playing out in terms of your role in terms of food service?
I think one of the best places to start is that they always say the way to a man's heart is through the stomach. So food is the best place to start. And that's one thing that I want to do is help to diversify the menu that we offer to diverse population that we have in our school. And that's something that I am working on.
Yeah, fantastic. So on that theme, can you talk about some of the other work you've been doing this summer to help prepare for the 2,700 students starting school next week? We're taping this because it'll be shown later. We're taping this the week before school starts, so we're in mid to late August as we tape.
Okay, so I have been working to diversify the food and make sure that all the different groups are represented in our menu. When I moved to the US, I was used to my Caribbean cuisine. So being able to find that was a challenge, and that's what you yearn for. That's what makes it feels like home. So that's something that I want to give to the kids coming into the district. There are new kids coming in. They're not used to starting school is usually a challenging time, and you have kids coming from outside the country, coming from all different places in the state, and getting that one thing that feels familiar is very warming and comforting to them.
Absolutely. So that's something I've never asked. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm also working on streamlining things, just making sure that we have the same great taste that you get in one location, we mimic it all across the district.
Yes, we do. We do have kids in multiple schools in the same family, and they chat when they get home.
Yes,
so I think that's great. So something I've never asked you, Sasha, is what would be your favorite meal? On a personal level, what would be, if you could have, it's your birthday and someone says, what would you want to eat? Coming from your very well-versed food service perspective. I'd be curious what that is.
When I was during my interview, one of the questions they asked was, if you had a potluck, what would you bring to the potluck? And I don't know if this was a mistake or what, but I do love curried goat, and I didn't realize that someone in that interview had a pet goat. I had to convince her that I wouldn't come to her backyard and steal her goat.
Yeah.
However, in keeping with the district farm to school, that would be a great idea. No need to lock up your goats. But for me, it's curried goat and rice, because I am gluten-free. I try to, I eat a lot of rice because it's very hard finding that in some areas. So it's curried goat and rice. And yeah, I think I make a wicked curry goat.
Yeah.
That is the Massachusetts talking. Wicked curry goat.
And I think that gets to the different cultural norms around food that people have. I know just even in my own family, where we have people from different places in our family with different traditions, how different food can be. And how going to institutions, whether it's K-12 or higher education even, can be very limiting for people who are used to a broad array of rich ingredients, particularly the level of flavor, I think that people experience on a regular basis. No, absolutely. Tell me a little more. I know one other thing you did this summer was you ran an event with Congressman McGovern, was able to attend. Can you tell us a little more about that event?
That was a very successful event because we are trying to make sure that when school is out, all our kids, whether you are eligible for free or reduced meal, that there is healthy food available to you. And one thing that we don't realize is that not because you're not on the free or reduced list doesn't mean that you still don't have food insecurities. And during the summer is one time that you find these insecurities because families have to leave or make sure that they have 3 meals, and home cooked meals are very, some parents are not able to make those meals for the kids during the summer. So you'll find that they'll grab a pizza or they'll grab chips and sodas. And that's one thing that we partner with Project Bread in bringing meals to kids everywhere. We've had a number of off-site or non-traditional sites where we transport meals to areas that are underserved, areas that kids are not able to leave and come into the school where those summer programs are, and we take those meals to them. We've expanded the summer food program this year, and that's something that we want to continue. We had a number of sites reaching out to us and asking to partner with us for next year. And Congressman McGovern was very instrumental and very helpful in trying to find ways to get those meals to those areas that are underserved.
That's really helpful. Other than Congressman McGovern and yourself, who attended the events of that day? I'm new to the district. Yes. I didn't mean individuals. I mean what types of people. I didn't mean.
We had people from UMass. We had people from Project Bread who helps to run the summer food program. We also had a number of people from Amherst-Pelham. The town manager was there. I think the manager, she was from the Urban Housing Authority, because we want to be able to get into those housing complexes and reach those kids in there. They might not be the ones that are coming out to those meals, and they're sometimes the ones that need it the most.
Absolutely. No, it was unfortunately I was away that week, but I heard it was a fantastic event, and I think I'd add that we had a number of elected officials in Amherst come from the school committee and select board, and I think to the point you raised earlier, it's really a community that values making sure everyone's needs are met regardless of financial situation, and thank you for your leadership in facilitating that meeting. I know that was thrust upon you very soon in your entry into the role, and in short order you made an incredibly successful event with students also and young people able to participate in some of the celebration as well. Thank you. Thanks. So what are, looking forward, I was looking back, now looking forward, what are some of your goals for the food service program?
One of my main goals, while I was very busy yesterday, I got a message from a parent who was very concerned that she was concerned about the meal quality, and I find that a number of people have that or similar concern, where our meal is coming from and what we're feeding our kids, and that's something that I want to work on. I want to make sure, and I started partner with local farmers, trying to get as many organic foods into the menu as possible. I know that it's very expensive, but we're in an area where hopefully we can source those a little cheaper, and that's something that we want to work on. And that partnership with the local farmers through the summer showcase that we had was very productive. And another thing is just making sure that the same way you would go somewhere, a franchise, and the same taste you get in one location, it should be the same or similar in other locations. So that I'm working on standardizing a number of things to make sure that food quality remains the same throughout. Because you might find that some schools have, oh, the quality here is great, but it's not great at another one. And not to pit any school against each other, but just to make sure that we have as a similar tasting food and quality food served to our kids. I heard one of my, somebody came up to me and said, oh, I asked a previous person or a previous food service director, not necessarily from the district, how often would you have your kids eat the school meal? And it was very disappointing that they could only say, oh, I'll have them eat it 20% of the time. That's something that we want to change. We want to make sure that our teachers want to eat our meals, our kids want to participate, because no kid should be eligible for a free meal and not taking it. So we're working on food quality and making sure that kids know that this is available. And having administrators, teachers participate in the process of eating the school meal, because it's quality food, is something that I'm very dedicated to this year, and I'm hoping to get those by the end of the year, have everybody eating.
That's a good goal. And I think I want to just compliment you for your approach, because what I've seen so far has been incredibly responsive to what you're hearing from the community. And I'm thrilled that the search committee, who went through a very thorough process I mentioned before, recommended you, and I knew when we met that you'd be a great fit for our community.
Oh, that's nice, thanks.
So if someone wanted to get in touch, either they have an idea for the food service, they have a question, what's the best way to get in touch with you? Via email maybe, or?
I am available. My door is always open.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long. People tell me that's not a good idea, but it's always open. I love to hear feedback, because that's what helps me to make the program better. And if somebody is participating, and there are great ideas out there. I've been to, and I've worked in a number of different states in food service, and you would be surprised at how much I've learned since I've gotten here. There's so much to learn. So if you have suggestions, if you want to say anything, if you think that item didn't go over well, let me know. I'm available by telephone, I'm available by email, and my door is always open.
Do you mind sharing your email address? Because I know a lot of people like to do that.
It's palmersc@arps.org.
Great. Yeah, I wanted to mention especially because it's a little, it has the extra initial in there. Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, Sasha, thank you so much both for joining our district and coming on television today. I know for many of the students, and particularly students, but families as well, who are returning next week, their minds will be focused on learning, but also on the food that supports their learning. So appreciate all that you're doing and all that you will do in the district. And thanks again to Amherst Media for shooting this episode of Window into ARPS, and we'll be back soon with another episode. Thank you.